I was the actor in the Power Rangers show, but most people don't know the disturbing acts I committed on two innocent people. What I did will shock you. My name is Skylar DeLeon, and this is my story. I was the Red Ranger in the show Power Rangers. On the outside, I seemed like a great human, but on the inside, there was a deep, disturbing side of me. One day I saw a listing for a boat that was for sale. I contacted the owners named Thomas and Jackie, and I expressed my interest in purchasing but asked Fee I could take a ride on the boat to see Fee I liked it. They seemed like great people and happily agreed, so I met up with them and brought some of my friends. I pretended like my friends were people who would help me run the boat, but little did Thomas and Jackie know that they were all former convicts. The boat ride started off great. Thomas and Jackie couldn't have been nicer, and they gave me a ton of boating tips. Once we were pretty far out on the ocean, me and my friends ganged up on them and forced them to sign the boat over to me or we would kill them. They reluctantly did, and once they did, I tied them to the anchor and threw the anchor in the water. That was the last of Thomas and Jackie. I would have gotten away with the time if my friends didn't snitch, and also Jackie tricked me. When signing over the boat, she purposely spelled her name wrong, and that made the police very suspicious. I have been sentenced to life in prison, and so far while in prison I switched my gender to female. Follow for more stories.
We finally have Bryan Kohberger's alibi, and I think it's weak at best. On the night that Kaylee, Maddie, Ethan, and Xana were stabbed to death, Kohberger claims he was driving around alone. That's it. That's the alibi. According to his lawyers, Bryan frequently took late-night drives by himself, and that is where he was in the wee hours of November 13th at the time of the murders. Now, a couple key points here. His lawyers specifically say that he can't say with certainty where he was, just where he wasn't. There aren't any corroborating witnesses either, and anyone who might be called to the stand to back this theory, they say, will be expert witnesses, so not someone who saw him or was with him. Remember, there are cell phone tower pings and plenty of CCTV footage from that night that tracks Kohberger from his apartment at 2:44 a.m. to after 5 a.m., traveling all around Washington and Idaho, including near the crime scene. It appears Kohberger's team is going to say those pings and that footage was simply taken from him on a joyride. Not sure how they're going to explain away why his phone was off for several hours of that trip and then suddenly appeared again when he was down dark farm roads, but however they explain it, I hope it's enough to acquit him in the fall of quadruple homicide.
This 23-year-old TikToker has just been found guilty of murder. This story is just insane, so hi, I'm Meg, I talk about true crime, let's get into it. At the time of the crime, Mahek Buhari was 23 years old. She had nearly 130,000 TikTok followers, 45,000 on Instagram, and thousands on YouTube as well. She made videos on makeup, lifestyle, fashion, stuff like that, and she was beginning to make a name for herself on multiple platforms. Her mother featured in a few of her videos, and they seem to be really close. Her mother's name was Ansreen, and she is 46 years old. This whole situation began around 3 years ago when her mother started a secret affair with a younger man. The man's name was Saqib, and he was only 19, I believe, when this affair started, and she was like in her 40s. He quickly fell in love with Ansreen. Sorry if I'm saying any of these names wrong, they're kind of difficult for me to pronounce. But she was married, and to her this was just like a fun little affair on the side. She had been married to her husband for over 20 years, and he did not know about this affair. The only person who knew about the affair was Mahek, the TikToker. Saqib really wanted a real relationship, and he wanted to woo her, so he spent thousands on her. It said somewhere that he spent around £2,000 trying to impress her. Fast forward to 2022, Ansreen wanted to end this relationship. He was getting pretty obsessed with her, so she just wanted nothing to do with it anymore. After she tried ending things, things got pretty intense really quick. Saqib started threatening her because he had certain videos and pictures of them together, if you know what I mean. He was blackmailing her, being like, if you leave me, I will send these to your son and your husband. And obviously she did not want these intimate moments being shown to her son, and she did not want her husband finding out either, because that would be bad. Like I said before, Mehek was the only person who knew about this affair, so her mother turned to her for help. She turned to her 23-year-old daughter. The two spoke about it over WhatsApp, which is just mistake number one. If you're gonna try to like take someone out, you know, call about it, don't text it. There's a text from Mehek to her mother saying, "I'll soon get him jumped by guys and he won't know what day it is." So it doesn't necessarily mention murder, but it does, you know, prove that she wanted to do something. Mehek, alongside her mother, decided to arrange a meeting with Saqib to give him back the $2,000 he spent on Ansreen. 11th of February 2022, the police get a frantic phone call from Saqib. Here's a transcript of the call if you want to fully read it. You can pause now. TikTok just deleted the other half of this video and I've just finished the makeup, so I'm just going to continue the story. In this phone call, Saqib is frantically trying to get the police to help him because he's being followed very closely. And he claimed in the phone call that the people following him were wearing balaclavas, which are like masks kind of. And he says, "They're trying to ram me off the road. They're trying to kill me. I'm going to die." He was not alone in the car. He was with his friend, his childhood friend called Mohammed. As the police were trying to get him some help, the phone call ended after he screamed and there was a huge crashing noise. Saqib's car was rammed off the road by another car off of the A64 dual carriageway. The car immediately was engulfed in flames and both the young men lost their lives. All because a woman didn't want her husband to know that she was cheating on him. Well, he knows now because the police obviously found out about it. The bodies were so badly burnt that they had to be identified using dental records. It was pretty clear that this wasn't an accident because of the 999 call he made earlier. Just so you guys know, this is in England. I feel like I've not mentioned that yet. I'm not really sure how the police actually found out who was involved. Like, that whole part was not anywhere that I could personally find. But they ended up at Mehek's house and she claimed that she was home all evening. She later then changed her story, saying that she had been there, but she wasn't involved at all. In fact, in this video footage you're seeing right now, her car was the one with the red arrow. And her mother, Ansreen, was also there with her. The police confiscated Mehek's phone and asked for the password, and she gave them the wrong password, which is like sketchy as hell. When they asked her why she gave them the wrong code, she was like, "Oh, I was stressed out and gave you the wrong code," but it's really because she probably didn't want them reading the text messages, saying she was going to get Saqib jumped. Mehek actually said in court that she had lied to the police multiple times, but her, alongside everybody else involved, were claiming that they were innocent, that they had nothing really to do with it. It was all an accident. But after the trial, they were all found to be guilty. Every single one of the drivers involved. I think that there was one that was let go, but I don't actually really know the situation behind that because the information is not very good at the moment because it's all very new, so it's kind of hard to find what I need. I don't think that the sentencing has been done yet because I can't actually find a number of years that her and her mother and everyone involved will be in prison for, but they're definitely going to prison. I think I read somewhere that the sentencing will be done in September, but I'm not 100% sure on that information. Like I said, it's very scarce. And that's the entire case from what I could find. It's insane to me that those two young men lost their lives because of this. Like, it's so ridiculous. It's creepy because her TikTok account is still like up, and it's weird to look at like her videos. She probably had no idea that her last video was going to be her last video. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this case / what case you want me to do next. I'm so mad that TikTok deleted that half of the video because the actual process was really cool into doing this makeup. But I hope that you guys still enjoyed the video regardless. I'm a little angry about it. When you're watching this video, I will be on a plane. I'm going to Canada for 3 weeks to visit some family. I have pre-recorded some videos, so you will still have your true crime, don't worry. If I have a free day, I will definitely film another true crime video while I'm in Canada, but that really depends on like what I'm doing every day. It would be kind of cool to do it in like a different setup. I don't know. I'm literally filming the pre-recorded videos after this one, so I'm literally gonna have to take off my makeup, film the other video, take off my makeup, film the other video, and my skin is not gonna be happy. That's everything for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!
Everything about her was an angel. She helped you. She saved lives. The night she died, she saved lives. She saved other people. She sacrificed her own life. That's what really happened. She sacrificed herself.
Yeah, man. Ain't nothing. My head hurt because she done gave me a mental breakdown, but it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we out here chilling with them. You know, it ain't nothing.
This is the story of 23-year-old Chanel Brown, a young woman with a heart of gold who would do anything to help someone in need. She was in an abusive relationship with 25-year-old Ernest Easterling, a man who served in the military who became violent towards her. One night Ernest's violence towards Chanel would escalate, and he would brutally take Chanel's life in front of her neighbors and officers at the scene, and in her last final moments, Chanel would sacrifice herself to save the lives of all of those who were rushing to help her. Welcome to Viral Crimes. Subscribe and hit the bell icon for more stories. This story takes us to Sacramento, California. Sacramento is the capital city of the state of California. With a population of over 500,000 people, it is the 6th largest city in California. Chanel Brown, a resident of Sacramento, was a remarkable young woman known for her compassionate nature and unwavering support for others. Her infectious spirit touched the lives of many as she constantly sought to lend a helping hand. Whether it was offering a kind word or going the extra mile, Chanel was everyone's biggest supporter. She was a resilient and independent young lady. Chanel was driven to succeed. She was an entrepreneur with her own makeup line, and she loved fashion. Chanel was in a relationship with 25-year-old Ernest Easterling. Ernest served time in the military with Chanel's sister, and she believed that Ernest would be good to her sister. The couple first met in middle school, but they didn't start dating until years later and would enter into a 4-year relationship. The relationship started off great at first, but then it started to change. Ernest's true colors emerged, revealing a pattern of control and violence. Ernest had his troubles and everyone close to him gave up on him, but Chanel never did. She believed she could help him because she had such a kind and forgiving heart. During the relationship, Chanel started distancing herself from family and friends, isolating herself from those who cared about her. Friends and loved ones were unaware of the abuse she was enduring throughout her relationship. Ernest Easterling's rage and anger toward Chanel would soon lead him to do the unthinkable.
Breaking news. Details are finally coming out about the woman who was being kept inside of a house chained in Louisville, Kentucky. And they are freaking crazy, y'all. So this is the lady, Joanna Wilson. They have released her identity and what she has to say is crazy. It's a little hard to keep up with, but from what I'm understanding, she had went to the house to help her estranged boyfriend clean the house up. She had saw him on a bicycle and he asked her to come over and help clean. So I guess while she's there helping him clean this house up, he ask her if she wants to do it the easy way or the hard way, and she says the easy way, and she said that she let him put the chain on her neck. But she said that she was absolutely terrified and he started choking her with it. And I guess there was like a phone call to a friend and he said that he was going to take some equipment back to Lowe's and that he told her when he got back he was going to kill her. And while he was gone is when she seen people walking and said that that was going to be her only chance to get free, so she started screaming at the people for help. Okay, so in the video, you can see that the officers in the fire department are having to like pry the door open, and apparently it's because he had like everything boarded shut with nails. But she said that he had a key to the inside and out, so I don't know how he was getting in and out of the house. Joanna said that the only clothes that she has is what she was wearing because he burned all of her clothes and that he cut her hair with a machete. She did also say that they had a baby together that was born at 3 pounds and 3 ounces with the umbilical cord wrapped around his neck. She had this baby at home and she said that he would not help her at all or even call 911. But she did say that she got help and the baby is fine now. According to this news report, police do have a person of interest that they are currently looking for.
So for the last 3 weeks, maybe longer, she's had her couples trip planned with her boyfriend to go to Key West.
Okay, but she just said you're going.
That was to Key West. I'm taking my kids, my 3 boys, to the Bahamas this morning.
Our kids.
Our kids. Yesterday, she sent a message saying that she's going to change her plans and now get on the airplane with me and the kids to go to the Bahamas.
But I own two,
And
by
when
the
we
way.
land, she's going to go to her boyfriend.
Elsewhere.
And me and the kids are going to our house. And I told her I'm not supporting that. And you're not getting on the airplane. That can mess with the kids' heads. And it's just something we're not going to do. Well, I own 50% of an airplane. She, on paper, owns 25 of that. And majority owner, the other 50% owner, and myself are both in agreement to not have her on the airplane. So 75.
If you have yet to hear about the Alexi Treviso case, then strap in, because this is wild, heartbreaking, and absolutely horrific. I honestly wasn't sure if I wanted to share this story, as I have a newborn baby and it was just extremely difficult to hear, but I am too angry to not share it, especially now with Alexi's lawyers trying to play off what happened. So let's get into it. Alexi Treviso is a 19-year-old high school cheerleader in Artesia, New Mexico, and she was set to be graduating high school in May of this year. In early 2023, she was planning to go to college in the fall, and she would also soon be going to prom with her boyfriend, Devin, who she had been dating for about 2 years. But that would all change when on January 27th, 2023, she went to the emergency room complaining of severe back pain. Alexi's mom was concerned when she woke up in the middle of the night with intense pain in her back, so they headed to the hospital. Once at the hospital, doctors were going to test for a kidney infection and a UTI, and of course, asked if she could be pregnant. This is just normal procedure when a woman goes into the emergency room. She told the doctor no, she couldn't be pregnant because she had not engaged in any sexual activity. And she also said she had regular periods, but just to be sure, doctors ran a pregnancy test anyway. Alexi was then sent to get a CAT scan, and that's when doctors got the results from the urine pregnancy test, and it was positive. To be sure, they also ran a blood pregnancy test, and again, it was positive. Alexi was pregnant. And that could definitely explain Alexi's back pain. Alexi then told doctors that she had to use the bathroom very badly. She couldn't hold it. She then sprinted to the bathroom from her room and locked herself in there for the next 19 minutes. Doctors, nurses, and even her mother tried to get her to come out, but she refused, saying she was just having trouble going to the bathroom. Finally, the hospital staff threatened to call security, and Alexi just opened up the door and started walking back to her room. Inside the bathroom, doctors found blood everywhere, but Alexi told them that she had just gotten her period. But they knew this couldn't be the case because they had gotten her positive pregnancy test results. And then when they started to clean up the bathroom, the janitor found something horrific inside of the trash can. The trash can was a bit heavier than normal for a bathroom trash can, and when looking inside, at the bottom of the bin was a plastic bag with a full-term baby boy. The baby was rushed to the trauma center, but unfortunately at 2:38 a.m., he was pronounced dead. The hospital then called police to talk to Alexi in her room, and when confronted, Alexi admitted what happened.
Discovered a dead baby in the bathroom. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. It came out of me and I didn't know what to do.
Lexi, I told you about this. I just asked you, baby, to tell me the truth.
Scared. And nothing was crying. It came out with nothing.
How big is the baby?
It's full term.
What?
Nothing,
9 months?
nothing was crying.
Lexi, have you watched the news of the girls, that what they do to their babies and what they go to jail?
Nothing was crying.
Go to part 2. This is part 2 of the Alexi Treviso case. So when confronted by police, Alexi said that the baby had just come out and was not breathing, so not knowing what to do, she put him in the trash can. After this, Alexi was detained. The medical examiner's report lists the baby's cause of death as entrapment and the manner of death as homicide. Emmy found that the baby had died shortly after birth and did breathe normally for a bit because there was air in his lungs and stomach. He also had injuries indicating suffocation. Now, after it was discovered that Alexi had given birth to a full-term baby, one big question was whether or not she knew she was pregnant. She claimed she didn't. She said she blamed her weight gain on birth control pills and that she had had regular periods and had no clue that there was a baby inside of her. Alexi's lawyer has said 1 in 2,500 women do not know they're pregnant when they deliver, especially teenagers. He explained that Alexi went to McDonald's every day with her boyfriend, and putting on weight was normal because of that. She was taking birth control and had a period, and she didn't feel any kicking or feel sick or any other signs of pregnancy. However, a former classmate said that Alexi knew she was pregnant and hid it from almost everyone, saying she had just gained weight from being on the pill. One friend even said that she had named the baby boy Alex Fierro, and Fierro was her boyfriend's last name. Footage has also come out showing Alexi in her cheerleading uniform at games, and in it, she seems to clearly have a baby bump. Here's another picture, and here. Just a few months after giving birth, Alexi and her boyfriend attended prom, and they were seen smiling for pictures. According to classmates, when they arrived back at school after what happened, they basically didn't speak of it or explain it to anyone. And the photographer that took the prom pictures said you would have no clue that what happened had happened just a few months earlier. In May, Alexi was arrested and charged with first-degree murder and tampering with evidence. After her arrest, she was released on a $100,000 bond. She wasn't given house arrest or an ankle monitor. The only thing she does have is a curfew. And her criminal trial is set to begin in February 2024, being pushed back from its original date in October. While Alexi is out on bail and awaiting trial, her attorney Gary Mitchell is accusing medical staff at Artesia General Hospital of giving her the pain medication even after they knew she was pregnant. So she is now suing the hospital for wrongful death. Go to part 3. This is part 3 of the Alexi Trevizo case. A high school cheerleader who went to the hospital complaining of back pain, said she didn't know she was pregnant, but gave birth, put the baby in a trash can, and has now been charged with murder. So the toxicology report on the baby revealed several drugs in his system, including morphine. And now Alexi's attorney, Gary Mitchell, says that the morphine was likely a contributing factor to the infant's death. He says, a fact that's critical in this case, the hospital began administering morphine, a painkiller, and other painkillers for her back pain and abdominal pain. And they didn't stop administering those painkillers even when they found out she was pregnant. He explained that 28 minutes after she arrived at the hospital, they were giving her morphine in an IV and were also giving her other pain medication that's not meant to be given during labor. And then he says by 12:51 a.m., they knew she was pregnant, but they kept giving her the painkillers until 1:39 a.m. when she left the hospital room to go to the bathroom. Gary Mitchell maintains that Alexi did not purposefully kill her baby. He said the fact is she did not kill her baby. The testing that was done to determine that she did is so antiquated that it is medieval. He said there was no strangulation, this is not a murder case. And he said that the morphine was the primary cause of death for the baby, saying, guess what does cause major breathing issues in fetuses? Morphine. However, a former homicide prosecutor and now medical malpractice lawyer told Law and Crime that the amount of morphine in the baby's system would not have caused the baby's death. The amount of morphine in the infant's system is not a deviation from the standard of care in the emergency room to administer morphine to someone who was known to be pregnant. Basically, morphine in small amounts is considered safe in pregnancy, and it only becomes a concern when it's taken in early pregnancy or on an ongoing basis, which was not the case here. So basically, according to the medical examiner's report, the infant's manner of death was homicide and showed signs of strangulation, and the cause of death was entrapment. Alexi's lawyer is now trying to argue that the hospital giving her morphine and other pain medication that's not safe for pregnancy is what caused the infant's death, and Alexi is suing the hospital for wrongful death. But right now, she is still arrested. She's out on bail, but she is still facing a charge of first-degree murder and tampering with evidence. She is awaiting a trial that's set to begin in February 2024. But in the meantime, we'll see what comes out of this lawsuit against the hospital and her attorney trying to argue that she did not cause her infant's death. This is such a horrific case, and I think there's going to be even more opinions and information that comes out, so I'll keep you guys updated. But let me know what you guys think happened and if her first-degree murder charge is accurate.